What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Confucius. That's me, a black guy with a Chinese man name. Look, I've been looking at and being frightened by the media and the news like most of you. And I don't know. I just don't know because everything is so confusing. But I do know this. Some of these numbers just not adding up. I mean, I know people tired of hearing about the COVID-19, and so am I, but in order to understand what's going on, some of these things we got to dissect and look at. I mean, yes, it's real. I believe it's 100% real. But yet no one has came out and told me how many people have died from just straight COVID-19 with no underlying health conditions. I mean, not mixed with this and mixed with that, because all that could be put together and become misleading. Nobody has told me what's the numbers from COVID-19 deaths with no underlying health conditions.
Oh, great goodness. It is 8:42 New York time. And I got to my regular unit and they took my patient away, my black guy. And now I'm getting switched units. This is exactly what happened before at the other hospital. As soon as I told somebody, like management, and tried to advocate for my patient, they take the patient away from me and then they move me. Guys, here's the thing. Let me try and put things into context for you, okay? I know not everybody's gonna live. I'm not that fucking green or ignorant or, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to think that, okay? I know we're gonna have a shit ton of people die. But these people aren't dying from COVID. Let me give you several examples here. An anesthesiologist intubated the patients, I think it was right, bronchi and of a patient, and they couldn't get the SATs up, and for about 5 hours, we were waiting on a chest x-ray to confirm that the placement was wrong. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for that, and we've told the anesthesiologist that it was placed wrong, because literally only one side of his fucking chest is inflating, he died. And I was literally ran out of the patient's room to get the director of nursing who was standing out there. And I'm like, can you stop him? He's going to kill that patient. He's going to kill that patient if he defibrillates him with bradycardia and a heart rate of 40. And the director of nursing just shook his head. And I turned around and he killed the dude. Okay? They're medically mismanaging these patients. And I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm not professing to be a doctor by any means. But there's, like I said, basic standards of care that we have to do. And these COVID patients, they all eventually need a blood transfusion.
Equation, this is the same formula that people in power or those who make decisions give us all the time. They sell us. I mean, doubt is the product. And confusion is the tool that they use to sell it to us, we the people, to the point we feel powerless about a lot of things. I mean, I'm looking at YouTube, the thing I'm on at the moment, and I see that they pull down videos of opposing opinions and opposing views on this thing. And if we can't get the other side of things, then how can you come up with a decision on your own? I mean, we just subject to what they want us to know. And all that keeps you on a one-track mind, focus on what they want you to be focused on. But again, these numbers are not adding up to me. I mean, is the same number of people or around average dying of the flu going to die from the flu this year the same way? Or is it just all COVID? Every time I look up, it's COVID. And yes, like I said, COVID is real, but to what point? I mean, what are they using this for? I mean, what are they setting us up for?
A great goal of this, they want a cashless society, a digital cashless society, one world currency, which has phenomenal implications for freedom. They want rid of cash. What was it this guy Tedros, the head of the World Health Organization, a man I wouldn't trust to tell me the time in a room full of clocks, by the way, he said, don't touch cash. Use cards because the virus can pass on through cash. When this runs on, they're going to be justifying a cashless society on the basis of that you can pass viruses on through it, and they're going to be saying we can't have this again. We can't have this happen again. So you're going to have more technological testing of people for whether they have a temperature and all this stuff, and the whole surveillance is going to move on, exactly as it has in China.
Right.
If people thought China had reached the point of beyond Orwellian, well, you just look what they've brought in as a result.
Because again, when you begin to scare people, people will basically give away everything they have just for the illusion of being safe. Because if somebody say, oh, COVID-19, oh, I'm scared, let me wear a mask, get away, and that's fine. But what happens when you get shot 5 minutes later? I mean, there's nothing you can escape from. I mean, you try to escape, but that's just an illusion. People have to live their life. And if I was you, I would live my life as well. But the rights that you will end up giving up along the way will put you into a willing slavery state. I mean, people in the hospital, we don't know what's going on behind those walls. I see all these white tents, but yet I don't see the lines at these tents that I see on television. Actually, where I'm at, a lot of these white tents been taken away. I mean, the only thing we know is the problem that they're telling us. But we're not there, so how do we know if what they're telling us is accurate? They will tell us that, hey, a family member died and it was COVID related. Do we really know that? Only thing we know is what they tell us. But what is the end game of this? I mean, this is tyranny. Because it seems like the people are more afraid of their government than the government is afraid of their people. At least the people we elect. And then they turn us on and we implode against each other because we will say, hey, look at those militia groups. Well, at least they got the heart to stand up for something, while everybody else just fall in line. Time for everybody to begin to do their own research and just not take word for word what the media say. Because I wake up in the morning to a Corona update. I go to bed at night to Corona update. I mean, who owns the media? ABC News. That is owned by what? Walt Disney? Fox is owned by who? Rupert Murdoch? These are private companies, private things. And they have an agenda to push. So they keep confusing us with confusion. Feel me? And they keep selling us doubt without really known facts.